Hello and welcome to the vlog for my child and I. He is trying to get under my covers with me. Yes, baby. Yes. Hi. Thank you. No, thank you. I don't. He be beating me up, and y'all don't be believing me. One, let's talk about the confidence of being on camera without my glasses on, because that is not something that I normally do, because I am self-conscious. Not that I don't think that I'm attractive without my glasses on, I just always have my glasses on. So when I take them off, I'm always like, I don't really know. Child boo. We ordered an early dinner pastrami sandwich. Mom and I are gonna, and some fries. We're gonna split that. I'm currently listening to Delicious Monsters. And what you got, Stinky? He trying to stuff his ball in my blanket. I think I want to venture into some horror. I think I might try YA horror again. I'm getting some of the answers that I wanted. Excuse me. But I still feel like the reason that I don't necessarily like YA is because there's always some, like, it's just like there could be more. And it's not all YA, but there's like this oomph that's missing to me. On top of the fact that when I was a YA, I wasn't reading YA. I was reading things way beyond. So there's also that. But I am enjoying it. It's not scaring me. And I think that might be what I'm missing. Put a hole in my blanket, I'm gonna put a hole in you. You really are cute. He really is cute. But he be tearing my stuff. He be trying to tear my stuff up at least. But it's cold as jacks out here. And I didn't really feel like putting clothes on. Anyway. I feel like there's always a oomph missing. So I'm finishing that up because I want to finish that today. And then let's put that there. And then I'll be finishing this Wild, Beautiful, and Free. Yes, that is a mini Kit Kat wrapper as a bookmark. Mind your business. Excuse me. This is a historical fiction about a girl named Jeanette whose father is the owner of the plantation that she is enslaved on. He had promised her that like land would be left in the will for her, but then he went on to glory. He seemed like a nice man. His wife, on the other hand, if I catch, I'm not sure how to pronounce this last name. I'm assuming it's Babin. Probably not, because there's some accent. It's probably a French pronunciation that I am butchering. But if I catch her on the street, that's gonna be it for her. I guess I should go over what my reading goals for the week are. So I want to finish at least 3 books this week. So I want to finish Delicious Monsters, and then I want to read I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings and Personal Librarian. So there is that. If not the Personal Librarian, then The Color Purple. Those are on my list for the week. So I was enjoying this, so I'll probably get through this pretty fast. I'm thinking I'm gonna DNF You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, because I just am not enjoying how messy the main character is, and like the decisions that she's making for herself are really, I don't like it. So those are my reading goals for the week. and don't have any plans. Mom is traveling Friday to Sunday. So it'll just be me and the boy this weekend. And yeah, I had a death in the family on my dad's side, and that's been heavy on my heart today. So yeah, I gave myself some grace to kind of just rest in the field, and yeah, worked on some orders, went to the post office, and I just been like taking it slow, moving slow. So yeah, I think I'd say I don't want to be cliche, but seriously, tell your people you love them, because you never know when you won't have the opportunity to do that in person again. Give yourself grace to grieve, because grief is a shapeshifter. You never really know how it's going to come at you, or what's going to trigger you, or what's going to make you feel away, or whatever. Go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. It's not going to hurt you. I know, well, as a black person, that's easier said than done, but go to the doctor. Do what you can, what's in your means, to find a doctor that is actually going to listen to you and heed your concerns. I know that it can be a fight for black people to do that. I know that they don't listen to us. I know that they don't believe that we feel pain and all of this other stuff. I know it's hard for us. But do what you have to do to take care of your person, whether it be holistically, whether it be however you deem to take care of yourself. Do that, because it's important. So yeah, but tell your people you love them. Tell them you love them. That's important. So yeah, I'm gonna sit and listen to the rest of this audiobook. I'm gonna sit out here with my child and do that, and then share a meal with my mom, and go from there. Let me know in the comments what y'all are planning to read for the week. Before I go, somebody was talking about a TBR and how they don't do TBRs because they never follow them. And I think I've mentioned this in my TBR videos, but I always use the TBR as a guide. Like, here are books that I think I'm gonna want to read, just so I have some sort of like guidance. And then if I start something and I don't like it, then I just don't finish it. Like, things can change. You can change your mind. You don't have to stick to everything. And your TBR and how you go about your TBR doesn't have to, be the same way that somebody else goes about it too. Did you peel all the stuff? Let me see. Let me show everybody what you did. He peels the stuff off his ball. But yeah, like, it don't have to look the way that it looked for everybody else. You could be different and unique, baby. Y'all, I got a frozen pizza in the oven. I just got out the shower. And I just wanted to give y'all some reading updates. So I finished Delicious Monsters, and I don't think I gave y'all an update. Baby, that story was a mess. And I think it kind of confirmed my, I'm not gonna say dislike for YA, but my like, why I don't lean towards it. There was a lot in the plot that I felt was unnecessary, or I felt like if we are going to expand on those things, that the book probably should have been longer to give time to talk about all of the things, or it could have been a series, right? because it's about a girl that can see ghosts, and it follows her moving into this house that her and her mom inherited, and we get into the story of why she can see ghosts and how it's tied to some family issues with her mom and all of this stuff. But then the story that's going on alongside it, so it's like dual perspectives, which I really enjoy. I love different points of view in a book. Is a girl named Brittany who also has some issues with her mom and the relationship with her mom. I really love my tattoo. Like, this haircut tattoo situation, it's really, it's giving. I distracted myself with my attractiveness. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Brittany also has some issues with her mom, but she has like a YouTube channel where they go to like haunted houses and do all of these things, and she has a connection to the house too, because the house is like used as an Airbnb. But then it's like, I felt like her connection, like her point of the story was like rushed. Like, there was information about her being like a fat black girl that I was like, okay, and I mean, I guess that kind of goes with, you know, her like doing so well for her age, and she happens to be fat. I feel like some authors these days are like rushing stories maybe, or like adding things for inclusiveness that are just like unnecessary. You know, like, how does her being a fat black girl add to the story? And I mean, maybe it doesn't have to add to the story, but it was like there was so much with her that I'm like, why do we know all of this stuff about her outside of her hosting this story and like her mom having a connection to the house, or having visited the house that led to some other things that were just like, okay. And then there's like beef with her and her mom that goes nowhere. Like, it wasn't a bad story. I thoroughly enjoyed the creepy house. I thoroughly enjoyed the paranormal activity. I thoroughly enjoyed this girl, this like black girl that can see ghosts, right? I liked the small town. I liked the psychics that lived next door. I loved all of those things. It was just some parts of it that I was like, for what? And I find when I have read YA, I don't often talk about it because I feel like I go into it very biasly. I'm always like, okay, what were these things for? For what? For what? I don't know. So that was that. My second book for this week is Wild, Beautiful, and Free by Sophronia Scott, which is about a girl. It's a historical fiction. It's about a girl who was a slave on her father's plantation. Her mother died giving birth to her, but her father treated her very well, although she is technically a mulatto, right? He taught her how to read. He taught her how to write. She lived in the big house with him, his wife, and her half-sister. She, you know, was fed well. She was clothed well, whatever. Her father dies. She is then sold because her father's wife was a raging bitch. There was no way around that. Terrible and bad. And it is, the story is documenting her journey. So the prologue kind of starts off with this guy falling down the steps and like falling on her. And she says some tidbits about what her father said, like the worst thing that can happen to a man is him falling down the steps or something like that. So it's documenting her journey up to meeting him, like how she got to this point where he was falling down the steps or whatever. And it's giving me, Yellow Wife vibes. I'm like flying through this book. I think I'm like 120 something pages in. Like I'm almost to the halfway point. I love the main character. I love that there are scenes that include like slaves being abused physically, mentally, sexually, but they aren't in a lot of detail. We kind of like, the scene isn't set for you in a lot of detail, at least to me. I read a lot of historical fiction. That stuff doesn't always take me to a very dark place, but it's I'm sorry, I got distracted. It is a very good story so far, and she is coming out on top. Like, she escaped from where she was. I think what I'm enjoying about this is the main character is very, very introspective. I do think that is because I think my phone fixing to die. If it do, I'll come back later. But she is very introspective, and I do attest that to her father teaching her things. Not that a slave couldn't be introspective, but just the way that the character is built in the trajectory of this character. She, you know, when she's sold to Mississippi, she makes a friend with one of the slaves. I mean, friend is, they cared about each other, but like, she was able to look at this person and kind of have a different insight of who her father might have possibly been, and who her mother was as a slave, right? She's able to say things to herself like, I don't want to be here, and I know that there is better, even though it's risky for me, and I'm gonna figure out how to, you know, make some shit shake for myself. So I'm really enjoying the character. There have been a lot of quotes in there that have been like, I'm like, oh, that's a word. I'm supposed to be reading this book. Like, it's pretty good. I'm curious to see where it ends. I love that she is currently where I am in the book. She's a teacher in a free town in Ohio. I love that representation. I think it's so far so good. If anything changes, if the end is terrible and bad, y'all will know. Next, I think I'm going to start, once I finish this, because I should be done with it by like Friday, Saturday. I know my dog lying. Why are you up, Bubs? Because he heard me talking. Next, I'm going to read my buddy read that I'm doing with my friend Felicia, aka Brooklyn Book Bell. I can't remember the name of the book right now. I can see the cover in my head, but once I start that, I'll let y'all know. So I'm making like pretty good pace. I mean, I've finished 2 books. I'm gonna finish Wild, Beautiful, and Free, and then 1 more, and I will have read as many books as I read last month, which will make me feel good because I'm trying to surpass that. Alan was all like, you only read 4 books in February? What was wrong with you? And I was like, I was sick, dang it. Also, I definitely told y'all about different reading goals. And I explained some of the other books. I hate when I be feeling repetitive, but I mean, if it's not bothering y'all, then it's not gonna bother me. But being a mood reader, my book, like, I have some things in mind, and then my mood just changes. Like, if I read something that's really good, I sometimes want to read something that's in that genre. Or like with my buddy read, I picked that up. I'm gonna pick that up next because Felicia got her book in the mail, so things be changing up. I'll be trying, and then other stuff be happening. All right, it is 4:25. I don't know. I'm reading because I was wide awake. I'm starting to get sleepy, but I got a couple of more pages before I get to the next chapter, and then I will. Oh, it's the glare from the light. And then I will lay down. The owner and the founder of the little free town that she's in, so he used to own the people that live in this town, and he freed them once his father died, and he is funding this town and finding ways to make this town self-sufficient, so that they don't have to be dependent on him. But then he goes on to talk about how he ended up this way, and it makes me question some of the white men that I encounter in these historical fictions and how they are written by black women, because he's not saying that he's doing this because he cares about the people. He's doing it because of how a conversation that he had with the teacher made him feel, and how he thinks it makes him look to have benefited from this like horrible way of life. But he's not doing it from a place of, oh, these people deserve better. It's coming from a place of, I inherited this and I don't like it, and I don't like how it makes me feel or how it makes me look. And the character that Jeanette went through a whole lot and got the audacity to be falling in love with this man. Are we dumb? Like, girl, at the end of the day, you are black. You might not look it, but you are black. So, I'm still curious. It made me want to throw this book in the garbage for a second. But I'm still curious. I hope she come to her senses, or they have a conversation about how, excuse me, baby, I am a nigga also as well. Because it's like, I guess it bothers me, because it's like, if push got to shoving, is he really going to defend her if need be, right? Like, if a slave catcher came, is he going to defend her? Is he going to do it because he thinks it's right to defend a black person and that black people should be free and that slavery is wrong? Or is he going to do it because she's white passing, you know? Like, is he doing it because he genuinely cares, or is he doing it because it's the right thing to do? But, like, I could care less. Like, is he attracted to her because of her white passingness? Like, if he had not inherited his father's land, he probably wouldn't have nothing to do with them black people. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, you did all of these good things for them, but only at the benefit of yourself, to make you look good. And I don't feel like, I'd rather people stand up in their mess, you know? Like, I'd rather people stand up and be like, no, I don't like this. Like, I'm never going to be in the business of trying to convince somebody of something that they are going to be dead set on misunderstanding, you know? But, and also, people's true colors will show eventually. Like, if you're doing something just because you think it's right, and not because you are genuinely moved and you agree, like, you genuinely believing in something versus being like, well, I know it's the right thing to do. What? It's a big difference. Your true colors will show. So I ain't feeling him, for real. Hi. I'm on my way to Target to get some stuff for Gunner. And I picked up some food. But I'm listening to excuse me, the My Favorite Murder podcast. I need to start working out again. This chin down here is that's not it. I'm listening to the My Favorite Murder podcast, and they are talking about the LDS Church and how the founder, I believe his name is Joseph Smith, It's a 24-year-old. Was a 24-year-old back in 18. I don't remember the year, but he was 18 something. He was 24, and I think it was Karen that said, imagine listening to a 24-year-old and like following them about religion. And it made me realize that back in 18 something or another, 24 was probably considered like an elder, because they was only living for 5 minutes and 37 seconds. They weren't living for a long time. So 24 was probably, they probably thought this man was wise. And his frontal cortex wasn't even, he wasn't even, that's so interesting to me, how now, like, a 24-year-old, not that somebody wouldn't follow a 24-year-old, but the thought process of it is a little different, because we recognize that they are still young. They are young and, experiencing things. Still experiencing things, and so on and so forth. Opposed to back then, 24 was probably equivalent to 87. So I just thought that was interesting. They thought that man was an elder, and like he was a prophet. I think that's probably also why like there's always been that like generational gap where parents are by my age. When I was your age, I had 17 kids, 3 houses, 6 dogs, and a farm. Baby, y'all life expectancy was a little bit different. Y'all didn't have that much time, baby. So of course y'all was in a rush. Because life expectancy. Sometimes it's not that bad being smart. Sometimes. I hate when people stop on the railroad tracks, because it's just like, I've seen Final Destination enough times to know that anything can happen. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. And like, it probably also, the thought processes probably also vary depending upon like culturally, right? That's probably a thing too. But I just think at the time it was, 24 was halfway through your life. What, were people living to 40 then? Now I gotta look up what was the life expectancy in 18, whenever the hell that man was. And then you want to know another thing? And this is just my thoughts kind of just doing their own thing. I know that in the beginning, the LDS church practiced polygamy. And I always consider, what if he just started this group because he wanted to have 72 wives? and he didn't want it to be frowned upon. And then there are all of these people that now believe in this church, all because this person really just wanted like an out. I mean, I would hope that that wasn't the intent and all of that sort of thing, but it's just like, make you wonder. No judgment. Believe in what you want to believe in. Follow whatever church you want to follow. Who are me to judge you? My God is no better than yours. Yours no better than mine. That's the thing that I hate about a lot of religion, is that people find it okay to talk badly about the things that you believe in because they believe something different. It's just as simple as, oh, I don't necessarily believe that. It don't mean I'm wrong or you're right, because at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know, baby. All of this shit is made up at the end of the day. At the end of the day, somebody was like, oh, this sound right to me. And some other people agreed. The majority agreed. So now it's a thing. And I think when you look at life that way, a lot of things won't stress you out as much. All that shit was made up. It was made up, and it makes sense to a lot of people. So they follow it. And the people that it don't make sense to, they made up something else that make a little bit more sense to them. But anyway, I always seem to leave the house when it's school traffic, and I don't like that for myself. Okay, I'm overstimulated. Because I just looked at this piece of meat. Y'all know I love me some lamb. But it is very much looking like meat, and now I'm grossed out. I don't like that for myself. I just want to go to the Target. That's it. I just want to go to the Target. Hey, y'all. Let's do a little Whole Foods haul, because Whole Foods got me. I went in there for... I only got one bag, though, so that's not terrible. I went in there for one thing, and I'll show you one thing, and then I got. So I got two of these. You guys have seen me show these before. Mom and I love Joe Tea. I found my darn pita chips in the flavor that I like, the Parmesan and garlic flavor. I found them. They didn't have them for a while. I also like to get the pre-cut oranges and the strawberries, because I like to eat these as a snack. And it's easier when they're like just ready for me. And I can just grab them. I got some butt wipes that are flushable, and this is what I went for. It is the it's some sea salt for my baths. But here's the gotcha, because I was not concerned about, I didn't go into the Whole Foods for this. So I love smell good stuff. Y'all know that already. And when I was in the aisle where this is, I was like, oh, what's that smell? And they had these little perfume oils. And, baby, I got 3 of them. Dang, now I don't know how to open them. That's gonna be... I'm gonna be mad if I can't open my oils. Anyway, I got amber. I got white musk. And I got the nog chopper. What, Gunner? Amber. And then I got the other 2. Are you gonna focus? There we go. Baby, they smell so good. And I probably would have got one of each had I not had some sense. But this amber one, I'm probably gonna have to go back and get more, because my mother is gonna smell this and be like, excuse me, why you ain't getting none for me? Ow. Opening these are not fun. But yes, they smell really good. Like, really, really good. So, that is my haul. I'm going to take Gunner outside for the last time tonight, and then I'm going to take me a bath. What are you doing? Oh, now you're scratching. I know I had said that I was going to do like all liquids because my stomach was upset, but that probiotic tea got me together very quickly. I still have been, well, I mean, I had lamb and some rice earlier, but I'm trying to eat like healthier things. So that I don't get back to my stomach being yucky. But you're gonna have to put your jacket on. You're gonna have to put your jacket on because it's raining. Okay? You gotta put your jacket on, Stinky. Yes? Yes. Hi, handsome. Anybody else's dog like their butt scratched? Because he gonna put his butt in your face. See, I like my booty scratch. He do. He nasty. It is a little after 5 a.m. and I have not been to sleep. I don't know what this bout of insomnia is. But same thing happened yesterday. And I didn't wake up until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I hadn't walked Gunner. So I don't want him to have to wait for me again. So I'm gonna wake him up and take him outside, and yeah, I'm like starting to feel drowsy, so I think by the time like I walk him and give me some water and some fruit, maybe I'll be able to sleep. So we'll see. And like I had plans to like clean tomorrow and like make dinner for when Mom comes home, but I don't know. And I have cramps. Send help, y'all. Send help. Look exactly how I feel. Amen. But had a bunch of thoughts. Thought I'd turn the camera on and ramble a bit. First, I saw something that said, like a couple of weeks ago, that was like, when you want change from the universe, you have to display change, right? So, and not necessarily like a drastic change, but do something different. And this morning I haven't been sleeping well. The thoughts were very much woe is me, but I did something different. Instead of just staying in that, I got up and I've been productive. So I'm proud of myself for that. So when you find yourself in situations where you don't feel the best mentally or physically, And it's easy to tell yourself that you are unproductive, that you keep making the wrong mistakes, and you keep doing the same things, and that's why nothing is going to change. Just do something slightly different. And that thing that is different could be, instead of just keeping those thoughts in your head, you actually journal them. It could be getting up and being a little bit more productive than you usually are, right? I think we forget that we come from a society where the example and the idea of productivity isn't, one, something that everybody can achieve, but two, it also comes from the thought process of you don't need anything to fulfill yourself, right? Don't try to strive for the productivity that everyone says that you should do. Strive for the productivity that meets your needs and works in ways where you can fill your own cup. Okay? Other thought. I want us as a people, black, brown, or indifferent, to get over the idea that just because you have survived worser things doesn't mean that somebody else should have to get to your idea of worse before they need help. I am sorry that people didn't show up for you. I am sorry that nobody believed you. I am sorry that you have had to carry that hurt. I'm sorry that you don't know how to live outside of that hurt. I'm sorry. I am. But that doesn't mean that everybody else should have to suffer just because you have had to suffer at a certain capacity. People are online saying that lady on TikTok wrapping her son his father wrapping him in plastic wrap is okay, or isn't that bad because, oh, well, there are other children that CPS should have been worried about. No, things like that, not that CPS shouldn't have been worried about other things. They should. There are children that have slipped through the cracks, and I hate that. But then also, him being wrapped in plastic wrap is the first sign that shit in that household is not okay, right? And in order for us to help that baby, CPS needed to be involved now, not later, not, when y'all thought it would be convenient because, y'all feel like, oh, it's not that bad. It sucks that other children had to die before somebody noticed the abuse that they were experiencing. I hate that. I sincerely do. But in order for us to live in a better society and to get children help when they need it, things like that need to be addressed. So just because you have seen worse, just because your own personal experiences are worse, doesn't mean that people have to get to your worst in order to need help. And I used to think that. I used to watch people, talk about the things that they've been through, and I would be like, suck it up. Suck it up. But no. I don't desire for anybody to hurt the ways that I have hurt, right? From my own experiences and so on and so forth. I don't desire that for anybody. So yes, I want CPS to get involved and take a kid away when their parents think it's okay to wrap them in saran wrap because they were doing things, and I quote, like getting into the oven and sticking forks in the socket. So you saran wrap them? Other thing, there's a black woman. She is a therapist, I believe. I'm not going to share her name because she's getting enough hate as it is. But she put out a statement. She put out something saying that she no longer wanted to take, or would no longer be taking male clients because, bottom line, they don't respect her. They, send her DMs trying to figure out if they're a right fit. They want her to go out of their way to prove herself to them without paying her, or without like booking a consultation or anything like that. They want her to prove herself. I'm sorry, I keep saying that wrong. And she was just like, for the benefit of us all, I will no longer be taking male clients. Point blank period. She didn't say black male. She didn't say brown male. She didn't say white male. She didn't say green male. She didn't say blue male. She said males in general. The way that black men are going after this woman. My God, today, y'all are proving her point. The lady said y'all get out here and y'all act a donkey ass. And she just trying to protect herself. And I've been thinking about this for a couple of days, right? Because I'm never in the business of convincing somebody of doing something that they do not want to do, right? I'm never in the business of convincing somebody of changing a thought process or whatever the case may be, right? But it's like people feel like, oh, because I feel this way, you should also as well. Because I said my feelings are hurt, that means that you have to go outside of your comfort zone to do things that I want you to. Are we dumb? Are we dumb? Are we dumb? I am always here for a good conversation, right? I can even do a good debate with you. But we always gonna have to agree to disagree because I said what I said. And it's not about being right or about being wrong, right? It's never about that for me, at least. It's about, this is where I am comfortable. And maybe you will say something that will shift my perspective and make me get into my uncomfortable zone and change, right? Maybe. But then also, you will not force me to do anything outside of my comfort. You will not force me to change my mind just because you believe something. So this woman is telling y'all, men make me uncomfortable when they do X, Y, and Z to me. So I'm not going to take them anymore. I'm not going to take male clients. I'm only going to be focusing on women and those who identify as such. And y'all want to attack me? And it's like, I understand the idea of like, oh, well, Shelby, what if people are wrong and they are doing things that are harmful? You have every right to tell them that they are wrong. Oh, okay, you hurt my feelings. That wasn't my intent, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm not taking male. You see how that was? Oh, you hurt my feelings. Oh, this thing puts people in danger, so I am going to do another thing. Oh, okay, well, you saying that I'm putting someone in danger hurts my feelings. I am sorry that hurt your feelings. You see how two things can be true at once. It makes me think of, someone was talking about the Kindred show. Y'all know I did not like it. And she watched the show first and then she read the book and she was like, oh my gosh, I understand now. Y'all have been saying that the book was better, and she understood how the show did not do the book any justice, right? So I had put in the comments, I said, yeah, that show was terrible and bad. And somebody was like, why do you say that? I said, it did not do the book justice at all. You know what this person's response was? That's probably valid, but the show was fine for people that didn't read the book. I said, see, this is why Nene Leakes used to be yelling at people on television all the time. I said what I said. It was terrible and bad. It is not your place to tell me to change my mind. Are we dumb? Are we? Just a little bit. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I do not. I don't understand. I truly do not. I really feel bad for that lady, though. I feel bad that she is being attacked when she is trying to do something to protect her own peace. She's trying to protect herself. She is trying in all the ways that she can to protect herself. And people are basically being like, girl, fuck you. Ain't that some shit? Okay, go in the bookstore because I had to grab something. And I go in there. Watchung Booksellers is my favorite bookstore. I'm in there often. Apparently they did a thing with drag queens, and one came to read to the babies, and they donated books and all of this other stuff, and somebody wrote them a nasty letter. And it goes back to what the fuck I was just saying, where we don't all have to believe the same thing. We don't all have to believe the same things, baby. You can say, this makes me uncomfortable. The fuck I'm gonna do with your angry letter? I can't believe people are that way. It's a probiotic. But you don't have to you don't have to put it in water. But it reminds me of silly straws. It tastes good too. I wish they sold them in a bigger quantity, because that's easier for me to remember than a pill. I don't always like taking pills. Oh shit. I want to do a video where I read books that I get from like the free little libraries that people have in front of their houses. Like I want to do a whole reading vlog. It'll probably be like a week's worth of reading. Just to kind of, I think people know about them, but just to prove that you possibly can get good books from these little libraries. Things that you may be looking for, whatever, they're probably there. Does children have a half a day? What time is it? Why are the children? Why are the children? I love kids. I think y'all know that about me. I despise living near a school. It grinds my gears in a way that nobody will ever understand. I do not like it. I hate drop off and pick up, because it is detrimental to everybody's sanity. I don't understand why they haven't figured out a good way to do it. I want better for us as a nation. I feel like a lot of things in the world could be healed if we figured out school drop off and pick up. I sincerely do think so, because I remember it not being nice when I went to school, but I think it's that like one track mind mentality, like, well, I'm the only person that has to pick up my kid, and I'm the only person that has to be somewhere, and I'm the only person that. You are in fact not the only person. You're not. We all have to do this, and if we all worked in a way that made sense, we all could get to where we need to be and do what it is that we need to do. So, but I can't believe my poor little bookstore, well, not mine, but the one that I like to go to, I can't believe they got that nasty letter. And then, like, in the letter, it was like, are y'all mentally retarded? And I said, well, by the looks of this handwriting, either this person is old as jacks and writing from the other side, or they are the ones that are mentally unwell. Who says that anymore? Are we dumb? I want better for my people. And by my people, I mean anybody that just wants everybody to be able to do the things that they love in peace. I want people to be safe and comfortable in themselves. I want people to be able to be who they are without issue. I want peace. And then it was like, if this is the stuff that you believe in, just go live on a little island. Baby, if I could pack me, my books, and my people up and go live on an island, don't you know that's what I would be doing? Practicing hurricane safety and then reading on the beach. Being away from you. Oh, mean ass. My God, today. It's like, okay, it makes you uncomfortable. You have had a thought process indoctrinated in you that these things were wrong. They are not wrong. That is just something that you believe. And you believing in them does not mean that you get to do, say, or like, you don't get to be nasty just because you don't see the vision. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. I just don't understand it. There are a lot of things that, like, I don't believe in, right? That people that are my friends do believe in. Except for, I did stop being friends with somebody because they were close to somebody that didn't believe in dinosaurs. And I was like, that's where I draw the line. There are a lot of things there, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean I was not embedded with the patience to understand why you don't believe in dinosaurs. Because to me that implies that you think that people were just creating bones to discover. Like, we've seen excavation sites. We've seen them. And I remember my best friend Justin said to me, he was like, well, I don't really believe in shit that I ain't never seen before neither. Excuse me. And I said, when you put it that way, I totally understand your thought process. I've never seen a dinosaur. Even though you've seen the evolution. Like, nigga, it's birds in the sky right now. Hello? Anyway, the fact of the matter is, we don't have to believe in the same things to coexist. What we do need in order to coexist is a level of respect. And if you can't respect me for my belief system, then you don't have to be around me. It doesn't mean that you get to cause me harm. And I'm not telling you that your feelings are invalid. Your feelings are yours, right? You can feel however you want to feel. But that doesn't mean that you get to be nasty to people. And it also doesn't mean that I have to hear how and why you disagree. Stranger. It's different when you live in a house. Like, it's different when it's a family member, right? Because there are familial ties that you just can't seem to shake. Like, you feel a way about people. You can't help that a lot of the time. But even then, you have to find space. You have to find ways to agree to disagree, or to go no contact and just be like, yo, I can't. That's me and certain family members. Yo, like, I don't agree with how you do certain things, and it doesn't align with what I believe in and who I am as a person. And I don't have to deal with you. I don't believe in that whole idea of like, oh, well, they're family, so you just have to deal. Hell no, I don't. I don't. This does not fit who I am and what I believe in. It doesn't mean that I don't love you. It doesn't mean that. It just means I think you're not the smartest cookie in the jar. So you have to stay over there so that I can have some sort of peace of mind. Because I don't want to be, associated with somebody that has this type of thought process. It's not hard. I mean, it is hard because it is hard when it comes to family and stuff, but I think, as long as there's a level of respect. And when you start disrespecting me, is when you gotta go. Point blank period. When you start talking to me a certain way, when you start doing all of that, baby, you got to you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. But yeah, the audacity of some people, the audacity to just be like, I'm gonna write a letter and tell you how much I don't like the things that you're doing. And here's the next thing. Here's the next thing. Am I supposed to care? You think that you have so much power that you're gonna write me an anonymous letter and I'm supposed to care? Like, you think you think that a stranger is going to move me enough to be like, I'm gonna change all of my thought processes? I'm gonna adjust myself because of this nasty note. Are y'all dumb? Are y'all really dumb? Are you? Because if I cared that much about what other people think, I would have adjusted my life to appease your negativeness a long time ago. But I have not. You wanna know why, Susie Lynn? Because I don't give a damn. Like, okay, I make you uncomfortable. Okay. That's between you and whatever God you serve, baby. Or whoever your ancestors are. That's between you and them. That don't have shit to do with me. Your feelings are your own. Hello? Your feelings are your own. But you want to know another thing? If what I was doing was so wrong, or if them having a drag queen read to the babies was so, like, it's inciting anger in you because you are triggered. It's probably because you think the drag queen is cute. I realized that I didn't end the vlog. So here is that my dog throwing up? Gunner? You okay? Oh, he eating. Oh, if it was throw, my mother was gonna have to get up. But I'm just coming to end the vlog. This vlog ended up being just a compilation of 2 weeks worth of vlog footage that I had, and that I didn't post because I was just not in the best mental space. My cousin passed. I had a lot of other stuff going on, just a lot of death and a lot of loss. I think death, we talk about it when losing a person, physically, right? When a person passes on, but we don't kind of honor it in the other forms, like losing friends, closed doors, missed opportunities, and so on and so forth. So there was just a lot of death in every way, shape, and form around me, and I needed to sit with my feelings for a little while. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys also understand. If you are going through something right now, you are not alone. And just give yourself space and grace to feel, to understand why you feel the way that you feel, and to cope with it in a way that makes sense for you and that is healthy for you and those around you. If no one told you today, I love you. Bye, friends.